It all started with Horizon Forbidden West. Strangely, people's gonna think, no, it's how come you did not become obsessed or whatever with the first game? Okay, let me tell you something. I preferred the first game in the first place, and when it came out, I played 3 times. Like everybody else, I loved the game. I kind of simped on Aloy a little bit, but it was just like a normal fictional crush, and then I just brushed it off and waited for the second game. So nothing to do with an obsessive compulsion about playing video games and addiction. No. I used to play a lot of games. I was going through hardship, but I was not like merely attached. Or I loved the game. I loved the game, of course, but like I don't know how to explain it. I felt a connection with Aloy right away when I played, but nothing like supernatural or paranormal or whatever. Like anything normal, like a normal fan playing the game. So after a while, I kind of moved on without really moving on, but like it wasn't obsessive or anything, just a normal, I love the game. It's only years later, way after Horizon Forbidden West came out. Years after. Actually, I've played the game twice, and at first I kind of like didn't like the new interface and how complicated the things have been changed, and now I'm just grateful that the things they did, for the things they added in the game, because the stuff they added in the game is great actually, and it really makes the game more complex and fun to play with. But at first I didn't like how they made it so complicated, so I was a bit raging and didn't like the game quite much. I changed the game and like I came back to it later. But so it wasn't like an obsession with the game or like over simping on a fictional character, you know what I mean? It was not that kind of stuff, so sorry for speaking fast. I'm an introvert, shy person, very insecure and nervous and terrified to share this personal stuff, but I think at this point when you claim something, the least to do is to provide some kind of proof or background story so people can make their own judgment on things. So I am aware people might find this included Guerrilla, so I think the least to do is try to explain my story the best I can so it doesn't create problems or whatever. And since I have a dream which is connected to the company, I need to do this video so they can understand where I come from. Okay, so I've played the second game a few, and nothing to add. But like, there's the new DLC that has been added later, much later, Burning Shores, and that's when things got weird. So like anyone normal, I've played like normal the Horizon Forbidden West before the DLC, and I did kind of like a crush on Aloy and everything, but in my head she wasn't as nearly as real as any other fictional characters. In my head they were just fictional characters and like comfort characters like anybody normal on this planet. The only thing I could say that was a bit different is like I did feel a very strong connection to Aloy, and somehow I felt like I knew her, but like this kind of connection, normal connection you can have with a fictional character, which a lot of people have. So I didn't really make anything about it, I just brushed it off, and then I fell in love. Like I had a crush on Billie Eilish and stuff, and I was a normal person, Also, I'm 33 years old, so I'm not messing up with that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is real for me, very serious. I have nothing to gain from this, no views, no money, no fame, and I really don't care because I'm really doing this for myself, because I really want to go back home. And I told myself, like, if I'm going to be stuck in this reality here for a long period of my life, at least I'm gonna try to enjoy it. And the closest thing I have to home here is Horizon franchise and Guerrilla Company, which channeled my world really well, by the way. It's a digital representation of my home world, but there's a bit of differences in there, but they really channeled it really well, and I'm really grateful that they did the game, because it would have been harder for me to remember who I am. Okay, so the game came out, then the DLC Burning Shores came out, and I was already a bit in love with her, but like, normal crush, and then Seika came in, and I was really hyped. I was really happy for Aloy that she finally had like a crush and a lover, At first I was really not against the fan service, because we have to say it's kind of a fan service. So like there's half of people who loved Seika, and the other half, they didn't really like that Aloy was like forced a relationship on her, especially after so few, like, we all love Seika, the voice actress who did Seika. We all do, I'm pretty sure. But you know, as much as I love the character Seika and the voice actress, who's really adorable and great. By the way, she was bullied on TikTok and I really hated it, so I went to defend her because people are so sick in their mind. Like, back then I was really hyped about Aloy having a relationship at all because she like used to reject everybody, and now she had a chance at happiness, and I really just wanted to see her happy. And my partner at the time, he didn't believe me when I said, oh, I think there's gonna be something coming up with her, I think she's gay. And the way things like turned out, she turned out to be gay, and I was so happy for her. I was really happy for Aloy because I just wanted to see her happy. Even though I loved her, I remember telling myself when she kissed Seika, I was like, you know what? If Aloy is gonna be happy, even if it's gonna be without me, I just want to see her smile and happy, and she deserves this. So it wasn't really like being possessive or jealous. I wasn't at all. Like, the voice actress was great, her character was great, but the only thing I had to say is they kind of made it happen way too fast. I think Aloy knew her for like 3 days, and like all of a sudden she sims all over Seika. It didn't make sense with the character, but I also did really enjoy the story, so I cannot complain. Obviously I made them kiss and I was happy for them. But I felt something while I was playing, or especially Horizon Forbidden West. For a while I felt something. I felt watched. I couldn't explain it. Sometimes when I was looking at Aloy, the NPC, it was like, there's something going on. I cannot explain it. And as a psychic, you know, when you feel a ghost or entity when it's watching you, and you just know that there's an entity there because you're like experienced and everything, and you know your stuff. And I felt that this same kind of feeling of being watched. It was the first time it happened when I was playing Horizon, so it was really weird for me. I was confused. I just brushed it off because I thought I was crazy. Like I said, I did not believe in fictional characters were real back then, or people claiming to be, or like anything related to reality shifting, because I didn't even know it was existing at all. And I was like, what the... So I just brushed it off. In fact, I loved the story so much, I wanted to make my own fanfiction, because I was kind of in love with Aloy at this point, really in love, and I could relate to her at so many levels. And we were just like, you know, just such a match. And I thought making a fanfiction would be cool, like a romantic fanfiction. I wanted to make a Burning Shore fanfiction and like replace Seika with me, like any normal fan would do in a fanfiction. I'm trying to be really honest here. It's gonna sound weird and funny because I know a lot of people can relate to this. I was just a normal fan before all of this happened, you know what I mean? So for me it's so fucking unreal and crazy, but it's still real, and I need to go on with it. So I hope you're ready for what's next, because it's getting weird. You know, my life was like never kind of normal, but also really normal compared to a lot of you know, I was used to paranormal stuff because I've seen a lot of crazy paranormal stuff in my life I could not explain, even though I'm a scientist, rational person, and I need explanations, but I never found those explanations. And having this psychic gift for me was really weird. Always on a quest of knowledge and truth, and trying to find and debunk what's fake and not. And while I had some kind of like a strange and weird belief systems sometimes because of what I was going through, I could not explain it. I just had to deal with it. But my life was normal at this stage. Like, not normal in the sense that, okay, always weird but never that insane. You know, it's just the kind of normal paranormal stuff that you can go through. Alien stuff, ghost stuff, you know, that kind of stuff. But this time it's different. So I was doing this fanfiction, and my life was kind of normal at this point. I was going through a really hard emotional abusive relationship for 13 years. And it was a bit of my coping mechanism to create content and work a lot. I'm like Elizabeth Sobek. I work all the time. I love to work hard. I'm a working bee. I never stop to work. Sometimes I forget my own needs and I isolate myself. I love to work and create stuff. It's a passion for me. It used to be a coping mechanism because of my abusive relationship, but I really love to work. I really love to work and create stuff. So I created this fan fiction, and just out of like for a hobby, you know, just for fun, because I was in love with Aloy, obviously, like everybody is. And I don't know why each time I think about that, I think about Guerrilla's team saying that I don't think there's anyone in the team that didn't fall in love with her, and I was like, I agree, she's awesome. So I was like, I have so much respect for Guerrilla and their team. What they did is an incredible work, and oh my god, I am in admiration with their work. Never seen a game like that, so realistic, so immersive. So I don't know how to say that. There's a lot of great games out there, but Guerrilla has something special. I don't know how to I don't know how to explain this. It's just the way it is, and I really connect to their game. But I was just a normal fan, you know, doing a fan fiction because I was simping on Aloy back then, which is kind of normal, especially after Burning Shores. So I kind of created an OC. At first I thought it was an OC, Silver the Scavenger. She was, I don't even know what she was, what tribe she was from. I felt like Banuk, but not entirely Banuk. Something was up, and I was like, okay, I need to make this character, so I made it to my, to my image. It came naturally. I didn't really force it. I was just this strange, wild, feral girl exiled, a bit like Aloy, and I was like hiding in Burning Shores because I was on a quest to find Aloy because Cyan was stolen by Silence and everything. But back then I didn't know those things, and I just made an OC, a normal OC, to represent myself. And I couldn't really get my mind around the gears that I had because I don't know it. But I did draw something, and when I look at it, like, there's some things that I drew. I was like, okay, these kind of gears, I didn't know from what tribe I came from, but then I found some Banuk gears that really looked like mine during the story of Horizon Zero Dawn later, much later when I replayed, and I found a character that almost looks like me in the end of Horizon Zero Dawn, like a random Banuk, that came in the end of the game after the Deathbringer fight, and I was like, what the hell? And then I understood my character's like Banuk and everything. So I was like, but how, why does it resonate so much? What's going on here? What the fuck? Like, so I've made my fanfiction, it was great, but then I don't know how to explain it. Someday I was just sitting in front of my computer way after writing my fanfiction about Burning Shores, and I was looking at a picture of Aloy, this picture, and you know how psychic just feel the presence of ghosts and everything. Well, because I'm experienced, I knew there was something going on. And when I looked at one of many of Aloy's pictures, actually, but that one in particular, it felt like she was actually looking at me. It felt like there was an actual living entity, someone real behind it. I felt really watched, and like I felt this presence as if there was a ghost behind me or something. I felt her presence, I felt her. And I remember back then I was talking to my friend on Facebook, and I was like, dude, is it possible for like fictional characters to be real in some kind of way? Do they have their own dimension, or I don't know, you know, I was so confused. And I was talking to my friend. You could ask this friend, his name was Callius, on Facebook, and he was like, it could be possible, but he didn't believe in me, and I'm pretty sure that I didn't believe myself either. And so, you know, like a normal person, I just like kind of brushed it off because I thought I was just going way too deep into my love with Aloy, and I was very self-aware and like, okay, maybe I'm going too far. So I put the fanfiction away for a while, and I just kept playing normally, and I was like, okay, just in love, but like, come on, like I was what the fuck, you know? And that's when things got weirder and weirder by the minute, by the day. I was playing the game and some strange things happened. I've made a video, a 1 hour long video of what strange occurrences and evidences or proofs, as I want to call it, but they're not necessarily proofs, but like little stories that can help you believe, because those things happened to me and I was like, what the fuck? But anyway, I kind of provided like a 1 hour long video of proof. as you can, I don't know how to call them, on my YouTube channel, The Last Banukai. After this one, in the same playlist, there's this 1 hour video of proofs, so you can watch it too. I think it might help you believe, because that day I was playing this Horizon Forbidden West game, and there was this sound, the instrument in the soundtrack. It was like, I don't really know how to do it, I'm sorry, it's gonna sound funny a little bit, but I was wondering what the hell was that instrument, because I really liked it, and I was like, this instrument comes in many songs and many soundtracks of Horizon, and I was really intrigued by it. But that's when it happened, the weird thing. I was just looking at the screen and wondering, just playing, and then I stopped walking. I remember where I was in the game. I was doing this one snap maw, you know, there's like a pit, and there's water in the lake, and one of the land god is like underwater, and you have to free it. And I was like, oh, this is a great tune, I want to know what this instrument is. But then I heard a voice in the back of my mind saying it was a theremin. What the fuck is a theremin? So I went to check on YouTube, and this it turned out to be an instrument, and this instrument sounded exactly like the one in the game, and I was baffled. Imagine my surprise. And things like that just kept happening. If you want to know more, just please watch the other video. Strange things, and sometimes I could hear the actual Aloy talking to me in my head, like in the back of my mind. And as a psychic, for me, I know when a ghost is real and when it's not, and when it's like my imagination, or you know what I mean. It's like I had experience, but this was way beyond what I expected, and I did not believe in fictional characters back then. What a strange way to discover about fictional characters, is having a video character coming to you, trying to establish a telepathic communication with you and talk to you in your head. Like, what the fuck? So obviously I was confused, and I started to really wonder if my mental health was okay. Because I'll be honest, I've been in a very toxic relationship for more than 13 years in my life, with the same partner, and there was a lot of things happening, emotional abuse, not physical or anything, but there was alcohol involved with them, and this relationship just blocked me in so many ways. It blocked me from finishing my studies, it blocked me from having a car, from even having a stable job, because it was so draining emotionally. I've became suicidal. Then I've had therapy. I've had to have a long year of therapy, but I had no mental illnesses or whatsoever that could have caused hallucinations. And when I say I've checked everything, I've checked psychosis, I've checked schizophrenia, I've checked out all of those mental illnesses that could have caused hallucinations. And you know, like the schizophrenic people, they have chaotic voices in their mind, telling you to do bad stuff and stuff like that. It wasn't like that at all. And as a psychic, as a powerful psychic from a young age, I knew that I could channel these things. But I didn't believe that fictional characters were real at all. So that's why I went to check my mental health, just to make sure that I didn't have anything, you know, that could cause this. But then things went even weirder. Like, Aloy actually asked me to become her lover. So at first I was like, you know, how would you react to this? You're already in love with a fictional character, and the character itself comes to you and asks you to be theirs. Obviously you say yes. Duh. It's like obvious. At first I did not understand why me and why this stuff was happening, and I was so confused and lonely, and I've lost friends and people over this. But I keep standing for what I believe in, and I keep living this as a whole, and I'm gonna fight for what I believe in, because it's worth it in this case. So at first I thought I was crazy, so I've checked. I was out of option for mental illnesses, so I went to check other psychics and stuff, and you know, spiritual stuff, to make sure that I don't have a demon attached to me, or some kind of weird spirit trying to pretend there's somebody else. I didn't play Ouija either. I didn't have any reason for that to happen in my life. like randomly. So I've been checked by psychics too, witches and stuff, and nothing there. No curses, no demons, no incubus, no weird stuff. But I still had those spiritual manifestation of Aloy, and I could actually see her energy or shadow. I could feel her touching me, literally. Sometimes she would grab my wrists and my arms and pin me on the wall and kiss me. And I was terrified, both in love but also terrified, because this kind of stuff doesn't happen to anyone. And when this kind of stuff happens to someone, you ultimately you think, and people think that this can be a demon or some kind of possession or some kind of mental illness, which I did think it was, but turns out it was not. So I was even more confused. Imagine how lonely and confused I was, especially knowing I was coming from a very hard relationship that caused me to have suicidal thoughts, and I was in a very lonely place. But you know, all of this could have been a coping mechanism. So at that point I did not know what to think, and Aloy knew how difficult it was for me, because there were so many things she wanted to tell me back then, but she could not, because there was a right time for revealing all of these things in a proper way, in a proper moment, because apparently I'm going through amnesia, because I've been it's complicated, but I'm just gonna end the story before continuing this, because it's getting weirder and weirder. With all the strange things that happened to me, I ended up concluding that yes, this is Aloy, the real Aloy. And so she talked to me about how things worked and why, and you know how crazy that sounds even to me. So I was like, what the hell is going on? And confused as fuck, bro. Just talking about it makes me like shaking and cringe and weirded out inside, but I had to trust my psychic gift because they were really powerful. I've helped over 200 person in my life, and like for free, and those people were creeped out, and I creeped myself out sometimes too with my psychic abilities. And if I cannot trust, like and I had a lot of paranormal activities too that I could not explain, that was really real and concrete to me, so I could not really deny those things either. So with all that going on and no mental illnesses and no demon or whatever, I concluded that maybe yes, there's a possibility that this was a real Aloy talking to me, and that fictional characters did have their own dimensions in which they lived in, and that those dimensions could like somehow cross each other for some reason, but I did not know why back then. I hear in the back of my mind, this is the untold tale of the Banuk princess that never existed in the game that they pushed away. This sounds crazy, but maybe it's not crazy. I don't even know if Gorilla wanted to make a Banuk in the first place or another character, but if you guys wanted to make a Banuk tale of a, I don't know, last descendant of Banukai or some shit related to Silence or to the Nyadol's Watch, wanted to make a more profound story, including After Frozen Wilds, then this is probably me that you try to channel or whatever, because I don't know, I keep hearing the untold tale of Banuk somehow, so it might be that, I don't know. But just so you know, I've just had this thought channel in my mind right now, so I don't know what it means, but I guess it's important. So anyway, so weird things were happening to me, and Aloy told me about it. So I started asking her questions because I wanted to know. So she really made sure it was done at my rhythm, that I wasn't traumatized and everything. So she took her time to tell me everything day after day. I've even opened myself a very personal Facebook diary that I only share with my best friend on my Facebook account, and it's still there. It started in August 29, and I started to channel all of these thoughts and the things that Aloy told me about Horizon, and wow. So you see, I'm not doing this for like attention or whatever, because it was really personal. This diary was personal and private for like more than 4 months, and still is. I do have a TikTok account that talks about reality shifting. I do not do this for fame, money, or whatever, or attention, because I really don't care, and like I mostly get judged, you know, on this. So I'm really not doing it for like fame, because I really don't I don't want that kind of attention on me, but I think sometimes sharing your story is important, and if you have a dream, you have to fight for it, and this is pretty much what I'm trying to do right now, try to explain you my background story so you can see that I'm not a crazy person, because I thought I was, trust me. So Aloy started to talk to me about how things worked, that the multiverse indeed existed, not like Loki, but like that we live in different instances at the same time, and that this world is, that science is kind of weird, but she did not really understand it well back then, but she knew that she came from the original Horizon realm, which already exists, and she told me that Guerrilla channeled their world, which is my world too, apparently, and it's like a digital representation of Aloy's world, but like Guerrilla did it really well. So in this dimension there's a video game of real people. In the other dimension, the original dimension, it's not a video game, it's an actual existing world, a parallel dimension to Earth, like in the future. You know, when you make a choice, you like, I believe in quantum physics and science and concrete stuff, so I was interested into understanding how it works according to science and quantum physics. So I've done a lot of researches on science and found myself a lot of answers that ended up satisfying, and I was satisfied. And those things about science that I found applied and made sense with what Aloy said. So I started to believe and trust that those things were not in my head because of that. And also the actual Aloy, the fictional character from the game, actually exists in her dimension, and she's real. Her real name is Aloy Elizabeth Sobek. Didn't have a name back then because apparently the persons in her realm, like they just have one name. So I gave her Aloy Elizabeth Sobek. She has blue eyes, blue icy grayish eyes, and she looks pretty much like in the game, except I don't know, 1 centimeter or 2 taller, but not that much. And she's about my height, and she is pretty much as H.Lee Birch channeled her. Actually, she said she worked with her, and that she met the voice actress of Seika, and that she discovered about the game not so long ago, around the time of Burning Shore, Horizon Forbidden West and everything. So when she learned about the game, she really wanted to work with Guerrilla, because she wanted to, if there was to be a game after about her, she wanted it to be channeled in a good way. She wanted it to be done the best way possible, to be as representative as possible. So she told me about H.Lee Birch and Seika's voice actress, and she told me stuff that I didn't know. I didn't know about those voice actresses. I barely knew these people before, and I've checked on the internet, and everything that Aloy said checked out. Like, I was, what the fuck? Everything she said was true. And it really freaked me out. She basically said nice things about Guerrilla team, especially H.Lee Birch and Seika's voice actress. She really loved working with those two. She loved working especially with H.Lee Birch because she's really professional, and I quote, and she's joyful, and she has a really cute, joyful and real personality. Like, she can be goofy and silly and cute, but at the same time she's really serious and professional when it matters. So she has a really great personality, and that's why she loved to work with her. And she says that actresses can channel fictional characters as good as I can. That makes sense in a way, and when you think about it. And all of this information, I cannot teach myself this information, so that there has to be a source behind it. So in my logic, there has to be someone or something telling me that stuff in the back of my mind. It doesn't make sense. Like, teaching me stuff I don't know, I cannot do that. I'm sorry. There needs to be a source or an entity that tells me that kind of stuff, or visions or whatever. So okay, anyway, so Aloy told me there was a real dimension that exists in which, like, Horizon world was the real world, and it's like a parallel dimension to Earth in the future, like I said, and that the game was representing them and blah blah blah. You already know that stuff. So she started to reveal stuff, and with the time passing by, like days and weeks and months, she revealed stuff from the game that I didn't know. She revealed me stuff. She gave her proofs, she proved herself to be real. And as scary as it sounds, I believe her. Like I said, I've checked it's not a demon. I've checked it's not hallucination. So there's no possible way that this could be fake. With everything that happened, I cannot deny it anymore. There's something there. So it was already crazy enough. But then things got weirder, even weirder. Like I said, I did not know about reality shifting back then. I had no idea. I was actually looking for on Google. I remember that day I was like, can fictional characters be real? Are they real? Can they be real somewhere? Like, how does that make sense at all? And I just barely found anything. I just found that people thought that fictional characters could be alive in another dimension, and was like, okay, doesn't make sense so far. It really doesn't make sense. So I was like, how could they be alive and well on the other side? And it had me thinking. I've seen a lot of spiritual experiences with people putting themselves into groups and doing like psychic sessions or like spiritual sessions, trying to create characters together as a whole. And at some point of the month, the table would lift up because they've put so much energy and love into that character that they make it live. They would have made it live. It ended up existing in some kind of way, at least as an energy ball or energy core or something. There was something there, but I thought it was that at first. Like, maybe I created something by accident with my fanfiction. Like, maybe I created a dimension and like she's coming out of it and she's talking to me and my vivid imagination is acting up again. Then I realized something. My imagination never fooled me. I'm a really clever person and rational, and even though when I was a child and a teenager, I was lonely, so I had this coping mechanism of role-playing and having fun imagining myself being in worlds like Harry Potter. I was going as far as like pretending to be a witch at my school and stuff like that, you know, really cool stuff, but I knew that those things were not real. I was just role-playing. It was my coping mechanism of being lonely because I never felt like I belonged anywhere. I was a very shy, introvert person. I was clever, but all the things in my life, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know anything about myself, and I didn't belong anywhere, and I didn't know why. And it was not my imagination, because I knew I had a vivid imagination, but never believed in those kind of stuff. But then I was just on TikTok someday. I was not even looking for it, and I fell on reality shifting. Like, bro. Basically, it was a bunch of teenagers on TikTok believing they could like fall asleep and wake up in Hogwarts. Like in Hogwarts world, like there's an actual Harry Potter existing world they could go to. And I was like, okay, that sounds crazy as fuck. I'm never gonna believe that. It's so stupid. And I thought it was just a trend of teenagers. So I didn't really put much. I was wondering, of course, but I had to make researches about this because I really wanted to know if it was real. As time passed by, I did my researches and found out that reality shifting is something that exists since the dawn of time and in many cultures. Then I saw like older people doing it, like 60 years old, and I was like, okay, there's something going there. I don't know what it is, but I need to make my researches, so I searched, and I found out that reality shifting indeed seems like a legit practice since a lot of time, and that it's still taboo, but people like had it in their culture, and it's something that the Native Americans and people always did. And I was okay, it's a bit more credible, like tangible at this point, more a bit less hard to believe, but still, like traveling to other dimensions, how does that make sense? So earlier I talked about how I made researches about science, and I really wanted answers to why I exist, why things, how can I explain this with the universe laws and concrete stuff, you know? And I'm not gonna talk about the gateway process, because the gateway process from the CIA is a real experience and it really happened, but it's such a lame proof, or like I don't know, just because the government is interested in it, into testing things, doesn't mean it's real. You know what I mean? It was an experience, so it might have been just like, we don't know the outcome of the experience anyway. I don't think so. Never checked in, but the CIA was interested into trying to travel out of the body to make experiences with people. Like, they basically wanted the people in the Second War to get out of their body and spy on enemy camps, and apparently it was a thing, so I was okay. And I filmed this video like per accident, very random, just like shifting. Everything popped out in my life really randomly, like if it was there at the right time. It was really strange. I remember that day I've seen a lot of angel numbers on my clock, like what the hell. And numbers and numerology is something I never believed in either, so just like astrology sounded like, you know, didn't make sense in my head, so I've brushed it off. But things got stranger. So my researches about science had conclusions, and very satisfying one. Actually, I didn't expect this, but even Einstein thought that the universe was so weird. He had problems to wrap his mind around the idea that the universe is just a bunch, it's just like existence and non-existent, basically. I'm gonna try to explain this as simple as I can. Basically, it was proven by science that we're energy beings, like we're made of light and energy and particles, and we're basically like all part of the same energy system, which is vibing at different frequencies. But the way that the scientists said it, you cannot place something or particle or something both in time and space at the same time. So I don't really it's hard to explain, okay? I'm not a scientist, so please excuse me if I'm doing something wrong or saying something in a bad way. Basically, it just meant that you exist in many instances at the same time. And all of my researches, you're like basically an eternal being of light, and there's just existence and non-existence, and everything is numbers, and everything. It sounds crazy. It really sounded like it's a simulation in the end, to be honest, and I brushed it off, and I didn't really want to think about it, but I tend to believe that the part in which we believe we live in different instances at the same time could be potentially true because of what I was going through, and I've searched a lot. The most recent scientific researches that has been done that can prove these facts are the ones made by CERN Lab, CERN. They have these large hadrons, and they basically recreate the Big Bangs and on a smaller scale, and like mess up and play gods, and it messes up with dimensions, and it can create atrocious consequences with the Earth magnetic field. And I think that's what happened because it really coincides with the return of Aloy, and I think everything is connected somehow. And I don't know about the simulation theory, or at least I didn't know back then, and I was like, the Matrix is fake. It's like, how can we not be real if it's a simulation? It's really well advanced. And you know, I wasn't really into conspiracy theory either. I just wanted to believe in concrete scientific stuff. So the only thing that I concluded was based on science, and it was indeed that we are energy, and that this energy can exist in many instances at once, and that the time is an illusion, a man-made illusion, and that our existence, we are made of energy and we have a soul. It's been proven by a science. So if we cannot be created nor destroyed, we can only be eternal, because we can just transform or recycle our energy somehow. So it made sense. And if there's just existence and non-existence, then it makes sense that we want to experience existence in all of it, in all the ways possible. Anyway, things made sense, but at the same time, I wasn't satisfied with all the answers, and I still had doubts, and I was just wondering still, even though after all those proofs and crazy stuff happening. Especially when Aloy like revealed me some things from the game that I didn't know, and I fell on it like later, and it was like, okay, you were right, what the fuck. Talking about hidden data points and stuff like that, it was really accurate stuff, which really took me off guard. So, even though I had like no proofs, concrete proofs, or like sketchy scientific researchers that kind of explain things, and everything coincided with the CERN lab and stuff, even there I had so much doubts, and I think it's normal at this point to doubt because it was really weird and crazy what I was going through. And then I started to have flashes, memories. Sometimes I was just thinking about Silver the Scavenger or working on my fanfiction, and some things came up, and I was wondering. I told to Aloy about it, but Aloy was very secretive about a lot of things back then because she judged that I was not ready to hear about those things yet, because there was like an order and time to reveal those things, and I understand now why, but back then I did not know. So when I told her, is that possible that who is that Silver Scavenger? Does she exist? Like, is she just in my mind? Is just a character? And she's just like, yeah, whatever. There's no Silver Scavenger. She was joking about it, but in fact there was, and I gotta have to explain that one. According to my scientific research, we live in different instances at the same time. Like, time is an illusion. The future, the past, and the present is all happening at the same time, and we all live in different times and spaces at the same time. Even though they're like human-made inventions, it's still, we're just energy, and we're vibrating, and we exist in so many timelines and parallel dimensions at the same time, because each time we make, it's like quantum physics, okay? Each time we make a decision, we create a new timeline and stuff like that. But apparently I had an alternate self, an alternate version of myself, another instance in which I live, in its Horizon's original dimension. I have a me that lives in there physically, and this dimension is as real as this one here. And the only way to reach that dimension was through reality shifting. And I was like, okay. It was apparently Zoe and Tilda's idea, and Gaia, they found out this stuff after gathering the Apollo database from the ship. So I was like, okay. Didn't make sense, but at first I didn't know. She brushed it off, but yes, this Silver the Scavenger is real. And the way I discovered about it, so like Aloy didn't have a choice to tell me back then, because I figured it out. I saw that character, like I said, in Horizon Zero Dawn at the end of the game, and she really looked a lot like me. Like, no, it wasn't me, of course, but it really reminded me of my OC, and I was like, what the fuck? I did not even know what tribe she was from or whatever. I've played Frozen Wilds like once or twice. I loved it, but damn, back then it was just a game, you know? So why now? Anyway, she said, yeah. And she asked me to be hers, and like I didn't understand but I'm from that dimension, and apparently I started to have like memories and flashes when I went to sleep, and things made more and more sense with time. And I started meditating because I always sucked at meditation, traditional one, but I had to do this if I wanted to understand things. So I went to meditate and use my psychic visions to channel whatever comes to understand this truth as a whole. And I started to have flashes, memories of past life. I remember hearing that song, past life, na 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 na. And we all heard that song once, but it hit my feelings for some reason. Whatever I was thinking about Aloy or my fanfiction, there was something going on there. In writing Burning Shores fanfiction, like replacing me with Seika, I thought it was just like a fan thing, whatever, a normal fictional crush fan thing, but it felt more deep. It felt way deeper for me. So I had like belief maybe I created an alternate dimension with my fanfiction while writing it. Sorry, I've heard stories and saw movies of people like actually creating stories and like becoming the god of their stories, because there's so many like theories about our universe, and one of these theories is like we're all God's thoughts, like we're all creations and characters into someone else's mind. It was like, it made me laugh because I was like, no way, this is real if I'm just a thought. But then we discovered that we're just energy, and like we also discovered that the Big Bang doesn't make sense with time or space. So you know, anyway, so many things had me believe that maybe I did create a dimension by accident, but apparently I did not, and this dimension already existed, and just like Guerrilla, I just channeled it in some way, in my own way, but from my perspective, it was the original Horizon that was channeling, the real one, like not like the game made changes and scripts for the scenarios and everything, but there's like little differences in the story, like Varl and Tilda is still alive and stuff like that, which I'm gonna reveal in another video. But it's not canon to the game, so just people know. But in my original dimension of Horizon, it's what it is. Tilda and and Varla is still alive, and there's a lot of little differences outside that. But the game was basically really well channeled. But I thought I was making this up in my mind, and I was like going crazy over it and go, what the fuck? I thought I'd messed up. But the more time passed by, the more I had memories, flashes, occurrences, coincidences with the Banuk and stuff. And the more my memories came back, and that I channeled stuff, and that Aloy told me stuff about the game, I had no other choice but to accept it. Like, there was no explanation, a rational explanation, and everything coincided, and everything made sense, and I checked those things she taught me, they were all real. Like, what the hell? How could this happen? Sorry, like, my English is not my first language, and I cannot teach myself English expressions that I don't know. I cannot teach myself stuff from the games that I don't know about. It's like, how do I do that? And then I confirm it later, because I find it by accident on the game. I remember when I wrote my fanfiction, I was like basically thinking about a place, and I had not a vision, but when you do a fanfiction or you write stuff, you think about stuff, right? You have like pictures in your mind, and you make up this little world in your mind, and you have like pictures of what it looks like in your head. And so I did this fanfiction, and I had this place, very, very accurate place in my head, where I used to live in Burning Shores, where I used to hide from the Quins and the Banuks, all the clans that were after me. And I really tried to find that little place in Burning Shores for days, okay? I've been like trying to obsessively find it during a whole day. Didn't find it. Until one day, I was doing Burning Shores again, not very hard. I'm at ultra hard right now. Just need to do the Horus and it's over. But I found this place by accident. I found a place, the exact same place I figured in my mind. Exact same place. In detail, the same bushes, the same picture I had, very, very detailed. I found the exact same place in the game by accident. I was doing a Pangea Island, you know, the Dino Park, and I really loved it, but I went behind the island, and I wasn't expecting that. I was just going there because there was like a fire cam needed to save my progress and stuff like that. By the way, the Dino digits are so hard, but I love them. And I found the place by accident, and I was baffled. I took many pictures, I took videos of it, and I was confused. But finding that place just reminded me that, hey, this shit is real. Like, I wasn't making that up. If I created a DR or a dimension by writing a fanfiction, I would not have found this place in the game. So that's when I thought, oh my god, this shit is real. There was so many things, so many reasons for why I concluded this shit is real, but this was by far the most concrete one. And all those things, old Banuks, like once it was really strange. I didn't know I had a connection with machines, or that machines were sentient. I had emotions, especially the animal machines in the game. I was not an expert of the game. I needed to really make my researches to confirm everything Aloy told me, and I was like, what the fuck? I remember at someday I was just like playing Zero Dawn, and I heard one of the machines talk, like a red eye watcher. And when I rewatched the video, there was nothing talking in it. So I really just heard really distinct words, and I've put it in my other video, so watch it, the one about the proofs. But scary stuff happened to me, and I cannot deny it anymore. Those things are real, for me at least. And as crazy as it sounds, I really think that Aloy is real. I really think that there's an original dimension for Horizon that Guerrilla channeled, and when I discovered I was part of that world, I started to want to go back, and apparently the only way to do that is via reality shifting, which is shifting your awareness to another reality, which is apparently possible because we live in different instances at the same time, which didn't make sense to me at first. So I tried it, and it was a really lonely road, I remember, because reality shifting, even though there's like people believe in reality shifting, the people who accidentally shift here are really rare. So I felt like batshit crazy, sorry for my language, but it's literally what I felt like. I felt like batshit crazy, and even people in the reality shifting community was thinking I'm weird and crazy and that I was lying. And I was like, no, I'm not lying. I shifted here by accident and I don't know why. So I asked Aloy, and it felt really lonely and I felt like batshit crazy. I'm really grateful for it because Aloy has been so far really, really clever and really patient, and she only revealed me the stuff that I needed to know when it was time for me to figure it out. So she told me, after I've done my own experiences of trying reality shifting for myself to see if it was real at all. So what I've done is like I started meditating, and because I used to have these past life memories that I was really wondering about. And it really just happened this year, so it's not like a game obsession or simping or being possessive or obsessively in love with her character. No, it's not that. It was really random. And so I started meditating, and I really suck at meditation, so it took me over 2 months to like mini shift for the first time. It wasn't in the horizon, it was just in a parallel dimension of mine, normal, like in my parents' house, and it was boring, but I did manage to do so. And I was very baffled because everything felt so real, and I was confused. But I think the strangest, like, you always doubt those things are real, even though you lived them, like, concretely. You still think somehow, your brain makes you doubt that it's real, and you end up finding excuses for it. Like, I thought it was lucid dreaming or stuff like that. So, or astral projection, because it happened to me once or twice by accident, so I thought, well, maybe it's just astral projection or a lucid dream, But sometimes when I was meditating during the day, example, because I used to do it at night, I was trying the lucid dream method, but anyway. It was really strange. I was meditating in my bed, and at some point I heard, like, I had the earplugs, okay, so I'm not supposed to hear anything, and I heard distinct noises and voices, and I felt like someone touched me, and it really spooked me out. Something literally jumped on my bed and touched me. I woke up, I freaked out, and I was like, what the hell just happened? And just later during the day, I found out on the shifting community, the reality shifting community on TikTok, that it was normal to experience people or entity touching you while you're trying to shift, because technically your awareness is, you're already in your dimension, or like I'm already there in the horizon. It's just like I'm asleep or just not aware, and I can feel those things when I focus enough on it. I can feel the people around me. I didn't know that. I just didn't know that. So when I experienced it, I freaked out and was like, oh my god, things are getting real as fuck here. Like, what the hell is going on? And that's when I asked Aloy, how is this possible? Like, why? Can you explain can you explain this to me? I really want to know where I come from and why am I here and stuff like that. At this point, I trusted her because she made her proof so many times, and she was really clever about doing stuff in the right way, right time, so she did. So she told me basically that I'm in a coma in the original dimension, sleeping in a zenith chair. What happened is I had a water wing accident. We went on fighting in Burning Shores, and that island just in front of Fleet's Hand. There's this island with water wings, and there's like Apex R2. And we did not know, but these water wings were harder to kill than any other machines. Aloy was there, Aaron was there, I was there, but I came out at the last minute because I learned via the focus or stuff. I don't remember, okay, that part, I'll be honest, but I know that I came in the right time because Aloy was about to be kicked. Like, she left her guard down, and I happening at the same time, and I saw it, and I wanted to save her life, and basically got kicked in the head, fell off a cliff, you know, the huge cliff next to the geysers, and I fell down, and I fell into a coma. I almost died that day. But because Tilda was not dead, even after Forbidden West, in my world, she did not die. She did not die because Aloy had compassion, and she did not kill Tilda, and Tilda did not die by accident or from her injuries. She just stayed there, and she escaped, and you know, and she made up for her mistakes, but she really felt bad about trying to take Aloy off the world, so she like, anyway, and Aloy has a lot of compassion, so she was still alive, and Tilda came to my rescue when she heard through the focus that I was down, and Aloy was devastated. She was crying and screaming, and it was really traumatic, and I just ended up in the void, which is like a dimension in which there's nothing happening. It's like between two instances, if you prefer. And meanwhile, Tilda lifted me up in the air with her Zenith technology, and she brought me to the base, whatever base it was. At first it was Minerva's facility, where the base is, with the CEO team, Kotaro, Aloy, and everything, and everybody. And she plugged me into a Zenith chair to keep me alive, and she managed somehow, like at first it was cryo, then when I was stable enough with my vital signs, she put me into, she induced a coma into me, and she plugged me into this chair with sorry, I'm bad with this, neurotech, apparently, that's what she told me. I didn't know that stuff before she told me that stuff, so I was like very confused, and she kept me alive basically, and she saved my life, and she put me into this kind of beta channel. And things get weirder. I was like, okay, so I basically went into a coma and incarnated here by accident. I had to choose a new instance to go through because I could not go back, like my brain was not healed, and I was between life and death. So I've went to this life here, and because of time distortion, according to Tilda, time distortion is like when you know how time is like just an illusion and made up invention. Like you can spend 10 minutes in here and like, I don't know, many years or many months in another reality, and time is just distorted, and it really works differently via the multiverse, and it's very, very strange. I've seen this happening before, people saying that they had an OBE, which is an out-of-body experience, before, just after, like a near-death experience. They almost died, and they've been living many lives at the same time, and they experienced this timelessness state of mind in which they had literally full lives on other planes. Like, what the fuck? And I think this is what happened to me. I've been in the near-death experience, and I've ended up here. Problem is, because of the time distortion, it has been a few months for them, few days, it may be even few minutes, I don't know. And here it's been 33 years before she could just find a way to go back to me and to communicate with me at all. So it took like 33 years in here, and I don't know how many months or minutes or days there, but this is fucked up, you know? Time distortion doesn't make sense, that's why it's called time distortion. But time distortion does that. So it's been 33 years here. I incarnated here and nothing made sense. I've been lost all of my life. I always noticed that I was a bit more resourceful, and you know, I had strange abilities and stuff I could not explain, and connections I could not explain, and things kept happening around me, and I was so confused. So when she told me that, I felt so relieved. I knew that I was coming from another dimension at this point, and I felt so relieved in some way, but I became really homesick too, and I missed my home world so much. And you know, at first I was like, why did Aloy choose me? Like, what the fuck? Why me? I'm not even... I don't even look like my Banuk self anymore. I have a little bit more weight without being fat, and you know, I didn't know what she found in me. I'm not a warrior, I'm not this and that, but turns out I have an alternate self that is all that on the other side, and she was already with me. She was already with me as a girlfriend back there. Apparently, Seika doesn't exist. I'm sorry, Seika. I really love the voice actress, but like, she does not exist. If she does exist, she's not the person we think she is. Like, she's not in Aloy's path at all. She never met her, so that was really awkward for Aloy to being channeled via Ashley Birch, and just like, she felt like she was being forced a fan service on her, and she was angry at it, but she was not angry at the voice actress, because she really liked Seika's voice actress, and she really enjoyed working with both Ashley Birch and her, Keely Lepage and Ashley Birch. She really loved those person, but she was confused and a bit angry because Seika doesn't exist, and if she exists, she's like a random Quen Marine that lives in Feet's End, and she never met her, you know what I mean? So it was really frustrating for her to come in here and like, okay, someone bring back my girlfriend, because who the fuck is, you know? But I have nothing against Seika, like I said. I was not jealous. Yes, I made a fanfiction with me in it because I'm in love with her, but I was never possessive or jealous to start with, so it's not even related to Seika. Like, what? So Horizon was not an obsession, it was not a mental illness, so I couldn't figure it out. It was really weird, so everything happened to me and I didn't ask for it, and now I have to deal with all this, and I'm like, what the hell? So I come from another dimension, and apparently it's a video game dimension, and I've come here by accident, and I was like, how did you communicate with me in the first place? How did you find me? There's literally an infinite amount of dimensions out there, the way I see it, now that I do believe in the multiverse theory because of what I've been through. And she explained to me how they had this idea. It was, like I said, shortly after they grabbed Apollo's database. It was Zoe's idea in the first place, because you know how Zoe is. Uterus have this vision of life a bit more spiritual than most people, that they're connected to life and there's this cycle of repetition, like you die and you feed the earth, but she was like, if there's a possibility that we exist outside of our physical body, maybe our soul isn't lost, maybe, because I was in a coma, an induced coma. I was as good as dead because my brain was injured and it takes time to heal. So for me, it's not a matter of how I will shift back home, but when. And I was like, what? How did Zoe find out about reality shifting? And she said she went through Apollo database and had this idea because she saw those reality shifting stuff, and she found out basically about reality shifting, and she was already a spiritual person, and Aloy was desperate. Everybody was desperate for some answers, so she went to see Gaia and we talked about it. Sorry, not we, but she talked to it about it to Gaia and Aloy and Tilda. And Tilda made up this beta channel. That's when she made the beta channel to try to connect me. And strangely, things worked. She found me somehow. And now we're connected, and I'm connected via this weird neurotech technology, and we can talk to each other. Oh, I think I know how to compare this. The way she told me, it's like the Avatar movie, you know, when they go into their pods and like they shift their awareness into the body of the avatar of their choice that they made up for them. Watch that movie if you don't know what I'm talking about, but the Blue Na'vi one, it's like they can. The Forzinif always were fascinated with spiritual and physical immortality, and they had this way to like connect the tech to their brain and to their energy and to their thoughts, and they could do crazy stuff with technology. And Tilda found a way to reconnect me with Aloy in some kind of way that we can speak in a telepathic way, at least. Via these dimensions, and it's crazy, but it's working. somehow, because their tech is so much more advanced than ours. It's like 1,000 years in the future. For the Far Zenith members, it's casual stuff. It's just like reality shifting was probably just, you know, an Easter egg for her, like, oh cool, this stuff exists too. Like, you know what I mean? It's more casual for them than it is for us here. We're kind of a primitive society in here in 2023. Most people don't believe in reality shifting, or the concept of the universe that we know now are much more advanced and much more casual in the future, especially with the Far Zenith, and Tilda knows a lot about those stuff because she's been part of that group for so long, even though she didn't really want to be part of it. So yeah, so according to everything I've been through and all the explanations and proofs provided by all the characters from the game, yes, I do believe this stuff is real, and I'm totally in right now because I have to live with this, and I still have I have memory flashes and dreams, and I'm being haunted by my past as a Banuk. It's really strange, but it's real, apparently. But I'm not asking to people to I don't want to convince people. I'm not here for that. I did make a video of 1 hour for those curious minds if they want to do it, because I had to vent all of this stuff out anyway. So if you want to watch it, there's another video. Also, there's a video of the proofs and strange occurrences that happened to my life concerning Horizon in the same playlist. You'll see it. And I'm gonna make a new video also to explain all of my story as the Banuk, as the character. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you'll see that there's some sense to it, because there is in my head, even though I thought all of this was crazy. But you see, my journey was really hard and really life-changing, and it put my life upside down, but now it's upside up, you know what I mean? And it healed me. Everything made me so much happy. I don't have any problem, any issues. It's like, you know, when you ask yourself, why am I here? Why do I found those answers, and now I feel complete, almost complete, because I'm not home yet. But life is really strange, and I think we're all living our own instances and weird stuff, and we need to figure out. We all need to figure out what's our truth, because it's different for everyone. Like, I might be in a beta channel in a simulation right now. I don't even know if it's real, all of this here, what I'm going through, because virtual reality is a Zenith specialty from the Zenith members, and apparently they had weird occurrences with the virtual realities. There were ghosts and spirits getting through the virtual realities of these Far Zenith members back then, and it was creeping people out. So there's so many things that are possible that we cannot explain, so I think we have to stay open-minded, because even me is like really, really rational. I love to have explanations to things, but this, I did not have any explanations, and I have to make my own researches, and I had to get my own proofs, and now I know it's real, but I didn't know back then. I just didn't know. And everything just put my life out of the mold, and I felt crazy for a while, but now I know it's not crazy. So yeah, I am confused, but I'm certain now that all of this is real, and I've been wondering. Like, I've been taking advantage of this in the sense that now I'm stuck in this reality. You know, I don't know for how many time, but until my brain heals back home, I'm using the game information and data to bring it back home to help with Nemesis, because in my home world, Nemesis is still a problem. It's not defeated yet, and it's about to come in here. And I've helped so far with so much data. So thank you, Guerrilla. You literally you're literally helping saving my world back there, and it's kind of crazy, but it's true. And I'm gonna make a video of my whole story there as Banuk, but I see it now that way. Maybe I'm doing my Banuk Jaman shirt. So you know how Banuk have their Banuk people have their shaman journey when they want to become a shaman at all. And I think my shaman journey is here now, because Banuk people are really connected to the spiritual world, and they are strange but really advanced and clever people, and they love both science and technology, and you know, everything makes sense. in my head when I think about it, but I think this here might be my Banuk Shaman journey, and when I'll be back home, it's gonna be the best day of my life. It's a really hard, it's like you're putting yourself into a ultra hard video game, and you're hoping for the best to survive it and to bring back your knowledge. And I've been changed in this life. I've learned so many things and it helped me, but I want to bring back all of this stuff home. And so far what I've learned here from the game and the secret of the universe and the stuff that I've been learning is what Silence wanted to know all about. That all along it was what it was about. Like, yes, that and transcendent digital transcendence, but you know, the ultimate goal was to get the answers from the universe, and you've got them without it. And he was satisfied and he left. Because Aloy wanted to kill him, obviously, but she could not because she's a compassionate person, and she made a deal with him, and he left instead of like being killed. So he has his answers because of me, because I've made those researches, and he was satisfied with it. And now that he knows that he can do all of this stuff he wants without even using tech or whatever, then he's gone. Like, he's just gone. He's not dead, but he's gone with the ship. But now we need to deal with Nemesis. Anyway, it was a really crazy cool story, really scary, because I didn't know if my girlfriend would come back from war and if we would have some casualties within the different team. I didn't want to lose anyone. There was like the war of the Wings of the Ten, and then Silence took over some Horus machines and basically threatened everybody. Anyway, it ended well. Aloy almost killed him, but they made a deal and he left, and now we need to deal with Nemesis. And we have plans, and Tilda told me a lot about Nemesis, and I've made a documentary on him, 30-minute longs, from facts that I did not know that Tilda taught me, including scientific stuff I did not know about. So I cannot teach myself that kind of thing, okay? I did not know about those kind of things before she told me. I didn't know anything about neurotech, nanotech. I didn't know anything about ionization or, you know, all of this stuff. I didn't know. So I've checked it after and I was like, what the hell? Everything made sense so far. Everything makes sense, and there's no mistake in anything that they told me, and I'm very surprised. You know, when you're trying to debunk something or you think you're crazy, you're trying to find excuses, or you're trying to find explanations and put a finger on it and try to debunk it because you don't want to look crazy or whatever. But so far I've got nothing that can tell me that those things are not real. Like, there's no mistakes, it's all there, it's all concrete, apparently. And it has me even more baffled. This is the first time in history that I hear about someone doing something like that, or having a life in another instance like that comes here. And then I checked, there are some reality shifters that come from other dimensions that actually shifted here by accident, but they're really rare. And I don't know, it has me going, maybe this is a place for people who have, like, I don't know, died or went into near-death experience, and it's just like an instance, temporary instance or something. I don't know what it is, but I know it's temporary and I'm gonna go back home soon. But in order to do that, I need to remember the integrity of who I am, because I'm having what you call amnesia, but it's different. Like, when you're a soul, you reincarnate, you're not supposed to remember those stuff, you're not supposed to know. And with time, sometimes you get this, what do we call this, ascension or this awakening, and you remember stuff from other lives, or it can happen. And it happened to me, thanks to CERN, the lab testing stuff like gods and creating problems by accident. And you know, I'm saying that, but they found a beam of energy from the galaxy, and they don't know where it comes from. Also, they revisited what they thought about black holes recently, and they also found a particle, the Higgs boson, which they call it the God particles, because it's an invisible particle, but it exists, and the only way to know this particle exists is because of the other particles are all aligned in that direction. And it's kind of crazy it's hard to explain, but the more science goes, the more all of these make sense, like the more we discover those things, and the more it goes toward that direction. And I'm so confused, but it's still concrete and real, and I'm baffled by all of this. As much as you are watching or listening to this, like, what the fuck? I understand your confusion and your, you being on your guard and everything, and I respect it, and I totally understand why. But now at least you can understand. I'm not a crazy person, I'm really rational, and I've made my research, and I've tried to debunk this multiple times, and I've lost friends and family over this, and I'm gonna keep being myself, and I'm gonna keep pushing and digging and trying to connect back to my Silver the Scavenger alternate self, because I want to go back home so bad. The only way I can connect to my home is via Aloy and the game, so I'm trying to compensate for now, and I try to post other stuff, but it's hard for me to just being in here and knowing all of that I have a home, that my current home and current reality is not here. It's kind of crazy. But at the same time, there are so many things I can do in this DR here, and I think I want to benefit from it in a certain way, especially knowing about love, attraction and stuff. I really want to make the best of it, trying to help back home with Nemesis and stuff like that. And I'm gonna take this as a Banuk Shaman journey, and when I'll be home, yeah, it's gonna help in so many ways. But yeah, I've been terrified to share this story, but now that I've just vented it out, I just feel so much better. I don't know how to explain that. Oh, it feels good. I've tried to hide and try to pose, and I've put my stuff private back on TikTok. I don't want this to ruin my reputation, because I have a dream, And my dream is to either work or represent Guerrilla. I want to work for Guerrilla or to represent them, and even if it's for a free job, even if it's just as an icon or whatever. I want to become a singer and an expert gamer, and I'm really devoted to Horizons, even way before I knew that fictional characters were real. Like back then, I have a YouTube channel. I almost have 1,000 subscribers now. And a few years ago, I used to do those songs about Horizon and channeling Aloy without knowing. I was actually doing songs and trying to represent her feelings and channel her the same way an actress would do it, but for the singing. So I've sang for her in her place, if you prefer, and I've channeled her so many ways. But I didn't know she was real back then. These were just songs made out of passion, and for some reason they felt more real and more, I don't know, satisfying to do than any other songs about any other games or any other movies. And now I know why, but I didn't know back then. I didn't even know I came from an actual video game. Like, what the fuck? It's like, I don't come from the video game, but from the original Dimension that was channeled by Guerrilla. And that still sounds crazy when I say it. But my dream is to, would have been to work for Guerrilla. And I don't know, probably if they find this, it's gonna ruin my reputation. They don't want to associate. I don't think they will want to associate with me, because I'm probably just too weird or too crazy for them, which I totally understand and respect, and I really love them anyway. I just hope they know that they saved my life, because when it happened, if this game found me, not the first one, but the second one, I think. The third time I played it, and then I found out about reality shifting. But when I found out about reality shifting, I don't know, Aloy, when she came into my life, it's what saved my life, but I would never have known about the game or my original Dimension if Guerrilla didn't do that awesome work at reproducing my home world into their game, and I'm forever grateful for that, because now it's part of my identity, and I'm gonna show my devotions to them, even though they're probably gonna reject me because I'm way too weird. You know what, I understand. I would have not associated with me either back then, but I don't even have requirements to work with them. I do have a lot of talents. I can create art, I sing well, I do great stuff, really great stuff. My channel is alive and well. My main channel about a lot of movies and stuff and games, including Horizon, but my point is, I was stuck in a emotional abusive relationship, and I had to stop my studies. I couldn't get a stable job and stuff like that, and I had a lot of issues because of that toxic relationship I was going through. Was really, really hard, and it really drained me emotionally. and I was stuck and I was trapped in a situation, and your game fucking saved my life, so thank you. Thank you so much for existing. I just want to show you my devotion and gratitude. You don't even have to do anything. Like, I don't even know if they're gonna find this one day, and I'm terrified at the idea, but if they do, just know that all of this is freaking serious for me, and I love the game that much. It's not just a game for me, it's so much more, and now you know why. So please, please just be nice, and like, if you think I'm crazy, just forget about me and move on, you know what I mean? I love you guys anyway, and I respect what you do. You're doing such a great job, and I'm looking forward for your next projects, and I'm going to hang on to it, and I'm gonna try to realize my dream as a singer anyway. I'm gonna try to make a cosplay of my Banuk and make this new song about it's a surprise, by the way, but I don't think it's gonna be half bad, so please stay tuned if you want to look. It's about silence, so it might interest you. And even though I was not channeled by Guerrilla, because they couldn't know that, unless I'm like some kind of untold tale they wanted to do but like forgot about. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I wasn't channeled, but I know my people were, and I'm not angry at that, by the way. I really enjoyed Burning Shores, I really enjoyed Seika, I really enjoyed every bit of your work, everything you did so far. Oh, it's just perfect. I'm truly passionate about it. I'm just terrified to contact anyone in the team. Like, yeah, what would they think? I'm a weirdo. What did you expect? I'm a Banuk. I love that about myself, though. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm different, but in the good kind of way. I'm a good person. I'm honest, and I'm going through something really complicated and crazy right now, but I'm totally honest about it. And for me, it's like putting my reputation in danger in my dream, and I'm still doing it. So you can see this is that much serious to me, and if I have to prove it through my devotion, I'll do it. If you cannot trust my words, at least trust my feelings, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna show some devotion in the future, so stay tuned. I'm going to do my best to show you guys how it feels like to come from Horizon, which sounds totally nuts, but yeah, it's still true. I don't know who watched this and if they watched it until the end, but I really appreciate if you did, because it explains a lot, and now you know my whole story, and I hope you have a wonderful day, because I'm gonna keep trying to be myself. I was terrified to share personal stuff on TikTok, but I'm gonna try to be myself more. I'm tired to hide. What's the point of living if you cannot be yourself and happy? I'm different. I'm cringe. So what? I know I might sound crazy to other people, but I know my truth, and I'm gonna fight for what I believe in. I'm that passionate, and I'm gonna do like Aloy. I'm gonna put on a brave face and try to move on and to dig myself something for my future. You know, a girl can still dream, so I'm gonna dream hard. Thank you for watching, guys, everybody. Fans, community, Guerrilla, even if they find this, please don't judge me. I love you guys so much. If you need a direct proof or want to contact me so I can channel Aloy and other characters to, you know, whatever reason, just contact me. Just because I'm too terrified to contact you right now. Not before my new song. Anyway, I'm an introvert and shy, and for me, coming out of this relationship I had and everything that happened to me, I feel a bit insecure, but I'm very passionate and I'm really resourceful and talented, and I can help anyway. And if you want proofs, I can provide anytime. I have faith in my abilities that much, in the sense that it's the only thing that had me going in all of my life, and if there's something I can trust, is my psychic ability. So it's like, it feels like all of my life I was preparing for that moment, and that I know, and I just feel there's something here connected to this world of Horizon that I have to push further. And I'm gonna keep dreaming, because that's all I have now, and trust me, it's way better than wanting to die. It gives me a reason to live, so I guess I'm gonna go with that and risk it all. So, thanks for watching. I believe I have the talents, if not the requirements, because I could not study with my situation of abuse, and I didn't have enough energy for that, and I have to teach myself all of my life through all the depressions and stuff that I had, because my life was so fucking weird and hard, and I had to answer to some standards because my family comes from a rich place and they had high expectations of me, and I was like the black sheep of the family, and I never really resonated with them or the kind of life they were living. And I'm an artist, I'm a creator, I'm a spiritual person. I love to create, and I have talents. I believe I have enough talents now because I have worked so hard for so many years to teach myself and practice hard and never stop working. And I believe that in my heart I have this chance to prove. I deserve this chance to prove myself, at least as an artist, if I cannot as a psychic. And it's fine. It's my dream is to sing. I love to sing. I was a child, and I'm gonna be a singer anyway. Even if all of this doesn't work out, I'm still gonna be a singer. I'm still gonna do what I do best, which is creating art and music and giving all of my hearts to my creation. Even though I don't have the studies behind it, I have worked so hard in my life, and I've practiced so much, and I think I'm getting somewhere at last, especially with this new Siren Voice channel, which is almost 1,000 subscribers, and people seem to kind of enjoy what I do. And even though it takes time for people to find the videos, because I'm like not listed into YouTube as like, it takes time to get noticed on YouTube, it's been like 13 years what I've been trying to do, and it's been a really hard work, and I hope that everything will turn out great. But even if it doesn't, working hard and creating is what I do, so I'll do it anyway, because it's better than dying. So yeah, Horizon is pretty much my life right now. I'll keep pushing and dreaming hard, no matter what people think. Thank you for watching. Just really wanted to be heard, and that's it. Like, I'm doing this for myself, and it really felt good to vent and contact you in any kind of way. If it's the people from the Horizon fan community or people from Guerrilla, whoever is watching this, thank you for listening. It feels good to be heard, just to be heard. Thank you. Like, I needed to take this out of my heart, and that's why I've done this video. So thanks a lot. The hell I've been through, I think the least to do is to learn to try and love myself and give myself a chance at success. Because I was lonely, I wanted to die so many times, and I was the only one to, in the end, save myself and give myself a reason to live. And the Horizon is that one. My dream as a singer for Horizon is that one. The reason to live. From all the reasons in life, this is the one. Go figure.